What's up guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I appreciate you guys taking time and tuning into my channel. So in today's video we're gonna be doing some sort of follow-up kind of a video. So this is where I give you guys feedback on the things that I've been looking into. So today's video we are looking into the MacBook Pro. So for those of you been following my channel, you might have know or still remember that I've actually switched from HP EliteBook 840 G5 into my MacBook Pro 2018. So what I want to tell you or share with you today guys is about the tips, tricks, application as well as utilities that have been making it easier for me to work around the MacBook. So here is the MacBook Pro 2018 with a 15-inch. So before we talk about the laptop itself, I should mention that it's easier for me now that I have most of the Apple products which are easily integrating with the MacBook Pro. So these devices which are on the Apple ecosystem are actually making it very easier for me to work around on the MacBook, and I really appreciate having this product around with me. So product number one that I have, it's a Magic Mouse. This is the first generation of the Magic Mouse that I have here with me, which I walk around most of the time. As long as I'm having the laptop with me, it's easier for me to connect this. I don't have to do anything. I just switch it on and then automatically it's connected. And then the next thing that I have is the AirPods. This is the first generation of the Apple AirPods, which also are seamless to connect. One thing I love about the MacBook, I must say, it's the fact that I'm able to connect multiple devices, especially of the Apple ecosystem, into one device. For example, I can connect the Magic Mouse, I can still connect these AirPods using the Bluetooth as well as my JBL Go speaker into this MacBook all at once, which makes it interesting, and I'm able to switch the device interchangeably. And another thing is of course the iPhone. This is my new daily driver. The video about this is coming very soon, so it makes it easier for me to work around on the Apple ecosystem, especially when it becomes to productivity. So let's jump into it. So my MacBook that I'm using, to give you a runaround about it, I'm not gonna go into detail about it. This is a late 2018 MacBook Pro that comes in with 15-inch display, and then it comes in with a touch bar as well as the Touch ID, and then it has a 2.4 gigahertz Core i7 processor as well as 16 gig memory and 512 SSD storage. So yep, I had challenged to actually switch completely or fully into this MacBook because of the things that I was not sure if I would be able to do on the MacBook, since I was coming from the Windows background. However, with the help of some of you guys giving me advice on the things that I need to look into, I managed to do a complete switch, which for now I must say to you guys, thank you so much, and it's been a very interesting journey. That's why today I'm coming back to give you feedback that indeed most of the things are working 100% and perfectly, and I'm learning some tips and tricks that I'm willing to share with you on this very video. So one thing that I want to share with you is about how things are arranged on the MacBook, which is different from the Windows. So this is the launcher. So in other words, it's like your start menu or your start bar, whatever you call it, your start button from the Windows side. So I managed to arrange my applications as well as utilities in a way that I can easily access them without having to go around, and this is how I actually managed to arrange them and put them in the groups according to their function. So for example, at the bottom, this is where I put most of the things that I work with on a daily basis, which is the utilities, music, productivity, and some Microsoft applications, video, and the developers tool. So those are the things that I look into mostly on a daily basis. So let's start at the bottom left where we find utilities. So here on MacBook, to actually go into a folder where you group applications or utilities together, you just click on that and then it actually pops it up for you to see, and then you can choose the one that you want to work with. So I'm not gonna go through all the utilities and application, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about those that I found very interesting or that have been helping me. Then for example, we have something that's called Subsplash wallpapers under utilities. So basically what this does is it allows you to get different wallpapers every day. You can choose to get a wallpaper daily, and then you can get a wallpaper weekly or monthly, and then it will rotate them automatically just to give you a different look and feel and some good vibe on your MacBook when you're working around. And then it's, you know, it goes with the mood on what you want, and then you can just set, and then you choose the one that you like depending on the mood. And then basically what you do is you just click on that button there, and then it will search around and find a different one. If you don't like it, you can just refresh it and then find a different one, then until you find the one that you like. For example, let me just say I like the one that I see there, then I can just set it up, and then once it's set, then it becomes my wallpaper. So that's how simple it is with a splash wallpaper. So going back again to the launcher, on the utilities, we found something called Alfred. So I want to talk about Alfred now. So Alfred is actually your search utilities. So this search utilities allows you to say things that are on your computer. So things I'm talking about, like your content, your applications, and utilities. So you're not going to be going to search about the videos that are there. The only thing that you can search about that you added, which is different from the utilities and the application, is the contacts. For example, let's click on Alfred, and then it brings like a search bar on top where you go around and then search for whatever you're looking for. For example, let me search my name. That's my name. Then it picks up the contact. So this is the context that I have on my address book, and of course these were synced from my phone into the MacBook, and then I'm able to dial any number from FaceTime, which it will charge from my phone. If it's somebody who has the FaceTime or has a MacBook or an iPhone, then we will just be using data on the FaceTime call, which I really find it very interesting. For example, you can also search for things like utilities or applications that you have on the phone. So in this case, let's search for Hidden Me. So this is the application that I wanted us to look into, but then we're gonna go to it using Alfred. So Alfred is a free application that you find on the App Store. You can just download, and then it makes it easier for you to search instead of having to go around and look for it, launcher, and then go to the folder, and then you find it up. And the good part is you actually finding a shortcut to do that. The shortcut is Option and the space bar, then it brings up Alfred, and then you can search the application that you're looking for. So in this case, we're looking for Hidden Me, and then Hidden Me is the application that I use to actually hide the items that I have on my desktop. So the items that I have on my desktop is not basically shortcuts, it's actually files and applications and folders, different things that are just dumped there. So this is basically a mess, as you can see, and it's not proper. Nothing is arranged in a good manner. So it's like, I don't know, a mess. So by then, if I want this to be clean, I can basically hide it by just a click of a button. So Hidden Me actually helps me with that, and I've already configured mine in such a way that when I do a one click, it actually hides everything on the desktop. Then I can just click like that, and then there my desktop is squeaky clean. And then if you want to bring something back, I can just click like that, and then it's back. I look at whatever I'm looking for. Basically that's how Hidden Me works. It's actually very simple, and it will actually help you to actually arrange things around your MacBook. So let's go back to the launcher, and then let's see what other application. Okay, I'm not gonna go further with the utilities. And then the next thing that you find on my launcher, which is the face page of my launcher, so I can actually drag it around to go to the next page where I find additional application, which we'll look at just now. So the next grouping that I have for me is music, which inside you find iTunes, and then you also find Spotify. So I don't really use much of iTunes because I use Spotify, and it's easier for me to search music on Spotify, and then I can just play it from there. So jumping into the next utilities or application is the productivity, and then in this case I've grouped my browsers. So I have 3 browsers that I've loaded into this MacBook, and you may ask yourself, why do I have more than 2 browsers? Basically, Safari is the one that comes pre-built in with the operating system from Apple, and then I added on my Maxthorn, I don't know how to pronounce that, and then there's Maxthorn there, and then you also find Google Chrome that I also added. So the good thing about this, or the reason why I have the 3 different browsers, is because on Safari I can start my Safari on the MacBook, and then I can continue with it here on my iPhone, and then I can start it here on my iPhone, and then I can come and pick it up on my computer using the same application. So that's how seamless it is to work with the MacBook. And then basically for Google Chrome, it's easier for me to do my YouTube, or maybe let me just see the whole Google suite together. So Google Plus, my Gmail, as well as my YouTube, I find it easier to do those on Chrome. That's why I have it. And then this the third browser is just for me to, if I want to test something. So if I upload something on YouTube, then I can go and test them on the other side without having to switch or sign out, and then it makes it easier for me. So basically that's what for this. So these are browsers, I'm not going to open them. And then on the next side, this is also another productivity, but it's basically where I group all the Microsoft suite. So in this grouping, we find in Microsoft Outlook, which I use for my emails, and then we find Word over here, and then Excel, PowerPoint. This is a basic application from the Office 365 suite, which I chose. So the good part about this, I didn't have to go and install the whole suite with I don't know how many applications they have inside, but I only chose individual applications that I want to use, and then I loaded those one without having to add things that I won't necessarily use. And then the next thing that I have is OneDrive, which I use for file sharing. So it's easier for me to use OneDrive than iCloud, because I have more storage on OneDrive than on iCloud. So my iCloud, I'm still using that free 5 gig storage, but on my OneDrive it's 1 terabyte. So I have 1 terabyte storage on my OneDrive, which makes it easier for me to share the file with whoever, and also to share across my devices. So without having to use the AirDrop from my phone into the MacBook, or from MacBook into the iPhone, I use OneDrive to share the files. It's very seamless. I can just create in a folder inside there, and then within that folder I can just create a folder and then call it a share, then right click on it and then say, oh sorry, on OneDrive, let me do that. Open OneDrive, and then within OneDrive you can create a folder. So I've created a folder called share, right click on it, and then I can just say share. Then for me to share, it's just going to open that dialog, type in the email address of whoever I want to share with, and then voila, it goes. If it's just for myself, I don't even have to share, because I already have applications on this OneDrive application on my phone. Then it's seamless for me to do the sharing. And the good part about this is the security around it, where I'm able to do like segregation or separation, or who can touch what, who can do what, who can delete, who cannot. You can do file level sharing, you can do folder level sharing. It's basically up to you. So yeah, I found it very seamless. And then going back again to the launcher, we find Teams, just for communication, works the same as Skype for video conferencing as well as chat, and you can set your meeting and do all those kind of communication. So the next folder that I have, it's a video folder, where I have the applications that I use for editing video. So in this case, we find iMovies, which I use to make my quick short movies, the movies that I put in on, or the video clips that I add on my Instagram. I do them on iMovies because it's quicker and easier. I don't have to do any complex things. And then the other thing that I use is Premiere Pro. My one that I have here is 2017, so I haven't upgraded to 2018 or 2019. So that's basically what I'm using for now, and these are only for editing videos. So another thing that I have is the last step for developer, which I have the application. For example, within here we found things like this Docker. This is something that I really wanted so bad, because I was worried how I'm going to run my SQL database, which I had on my Windows computer. However, someone went to that video where I actually expressed my concern of switching to Mac, and say you can use something called Docker, which I went and downloaded for free, and then I'm able to do my SQL databases, which is very interesting and simple. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. And then another thing is the extractor. The extractor is basically for you to extract the zipped file, or the file which are zipped or archived, if you can put it that way. And then we have Xcode. This is what I use for coding. I'm still learning. And then another application that I use, this is Microsoft Remote Desktop for remoting, and then this is for the VPN access. And then the other thing that I have on the next tab, you are basically Adobe Reader for PDF files, and then I have Audacity for sound recording as well as editing sound. Sometimes I don't really like editing sound, but I do this for meeting recordings and stuff for that instead of using the voice memos. So the good part about Audacity is because I'm able to do the editing, and I have, I think, much of the control. That's what I like about this. And then you have WhatsApp, same one, and then you got speed test for me to test the speed and team viewer there. So the next thing that I want to look into is the touch bar. So the touch bar, basically what it allows you to do is, instead of you having to use the mouse, the touchpad, as well as the keyboard, you can actually use the touch bar to do some controls. For example, if you are playing music on Spotify, while the track is busy playing, you can just click on the touch bar, and then you actually pause the track from the touch bar. You can play it from there, you can skip from there, and then you can still pause, and then you can mute the volume from there, and then you can increase the volume from there, which is I find it very interesting. And then you can increase it or reduce it, and then you can also increase the brightness from the touch bar, and then you can also reduce the brightness. And then another thing that's I like about this, you have Siri on the MacBook, so you can call Siri, and then Siri will call someone, and then you can ask Siri to open a certain browser for you or a certain page for you. Can do, you know, just basically how Apple Assistant does, or maybe Google Assistant, for example. So that's what you use Siri for. And another thing that we have here is the Touch ID. The Touch ID that we have here is the same Touch ID that you find on some of the iPhone, like for example iPhone 6, iPhone 7, as well as iPhone 8. So basically you just enroll your finger to lock or just to unlock your phone, your MacBook. So for example, if I can demonstrate it for you here, let's see if I can lock, and then I've locked the screen, and then I can just put my finger here, and then it unlocks the computer. So another good thing about there is you can restart the machine, and then it will come back to the very same place where you were on the very same projects that you're working on, without having to do much of a work. And another thing that I like about this is to take a screenshot. You basically can take the whole screenshot at a go, and then you can basically choose to do a video of what you are doing, like I'm doing right now. I'm actually recording the screen of whatever I'm doing here, and it enables me to actually edit it and edit on the video. So yeah, that's pretty much about it on my MacBook, guys, and I was able to do a complete switch. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.